All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Rodriguez, the Sheriff for the Town of Miami Youth Activities Task Force. It is October 16th, 2024. It is our regularly scheduled meeting on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday, just because there is an event for tomorrow, so we can't have our event or our meeting tomorrow. The meetings for next month and after that will resume back to Thursdays at 7, Thursdays of the month. I'm gonna call this meeting to order at 7:25 PM. If we can have a roll call, please.
Brian Rodriguez.
Present.
Mayor Chakowska. Diana Hess, present. Angela Torres.
Present.
Dana Borrega. Robin Amador.
Present.
Camila Vega. Present. Hayes Driscoll. Present. Ana Soto.
Present.
Leah Fernandez.
Present.
Yeah.
Diana Hernandez.
Present.
Melanie Alvarez. Present. And Kari.
So we have quorum. Perfect. All right, we'll move on to public comments. Are there any public comments in the room? Seeing no public comments, we'll move on to item 4, which is the adoption of minutes from the last meeting. Take a minute or two to go over it. If you have anything that wants to be changed, this is the time to do it. Motion to adopt.
A second.
We have a motion to a second. Any discussion? Do we want to take an extra minute to look over them? No?
Yes, we did. Okay.
I'll give you a minute to look at it really quick. All right. We have a motion and a second. Anyone need any more time? Perfect. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes. We'll move on to item 5, order of business, deferrals, additions, deletions. Is there anything anyone wants to add, remove, or defer for the next meeting from the agenda?
Motion to, we move, the bike rodeo to the top. So to just get that out of the way.
Do we have a second? Second, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Aye. Motion passes. We have 2 ayes. Motion passes. So bike rodeo will go up to the top. I'm gonna motion to add item, I guess since it's going up there, add item 8A. It's gonna be committee concerns. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes. Anything else anyone wants to move around from the agenda? Perfect. We'll move on to item 8, which is bike rodeo. If Officer Amador, since it is the event that you put together, if you want to start it off.
Sure, I'll tell you some of the bad stuff that I saw of the day. We had the storm that was approaching, and then that was a huge issue with the storm. I think that was a big one because of the storm. Our farmers market contact went downhill because half of the farmers market wasn't there. Right? Why did it kind of want to be moved over there? Is because the farmers market's there and there's food trucks, there's food, none of the food was there. That's nobody there. Half of the farmers market wasn't there. We went up and down trying to get people to come over, and the vendors commented to more than myself that it was way more empty than any other Saturday. So we didn't get the influx of people from the farmers market that we would have normally had. Something that we didn't notice and we kind of noticed there was a lot of like blockage. There were containers and stuff that were in between the farmers market. So if you're the farmers market looking over, you couldn't see anything.
The line of
I
vision.
remember fire rescue was there with their lights on and you couldn't see them. And who's gonna miss the fire truck and you couldn't see them. And the placement, the tricksters put the big container right in front also, so Again, you're driving down like, oh, what's going on? Oh, I can't see anything because there's a big container right in front. So I think that, all of that really screwed us up because you couldn't see the event from 6-7, which was the other reason why you wanted it there. I don't know if there was anything else. I just think of anything else right now.
But the
Those
good
were
news
the
is,
main things.
the good news is there were like 80-something helmets, right, that were given out.
That's not bad.
So
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
That's
So there were people that went.
yeah, like 65 helmets were given out, and not everybody went to get helmets, because a lot,
A lot of people went and didn't get helmets, so we might
Yeah.
we'll probably have, even with all that negative stuff, we had maybe like 100-something people.
Yeah, yeah.
a few people for sure.
It's not bad at all. In the past, this is or the second oldest event for the town, our oldest event in our committee, so it's like a legend event, and a safety event. At the end of the day, I don't think it has to have a lot of people. It's a safety event. If they're interested in safety, they show up. If they're not, they don't. It is what it is. Luckily, this event, I remember going to it when I was 5, 6 years old,
Mhm.
and I've gone every year. I know this year I showed up late because I was at work and I showed up in the pouring rain. The ones that were there saw me get off my car, soaking wet in my uniform, and come and help out. Whatever needed to be helped out with.
Point of inquiry, how much money was, like, how much money, like, how many, yeah, how much money did we use for this? Trying to remember here.
I think it's one of the lower end.
We used a little over 2,900, if I'm not mistaken.
And that's including sponsors.
Well, through the chair, so I arrived a bit late that day because I thought that the event had been canceled because of the hurricane. Didn't have the best judgment.
Who told you that?
No, I presume, so my apologies for that, but, how everything was getting canceled throughout the county and there were so many notices and stuff, I just got there late, but to keep my.
Because of the storm, right?
Yeah, but to keep my statement brief, I think that the event, the way that it was structured, it wasn't ideally the best. Like, it wasn't the biggest nor the best investment we could have made. I think that $2,900 would have been better invested if the event was even held out where it used to be held. I don't think that location was the best location. There's a list of negatives we can go through, but I think that for when this event is done again, I think it should be looked at in a way where more people have the opportunity to take advantage of it. Because in our reality, I don't think that if we want to do events to benefit the overwhelming majority of the town, to just put it in a location where realistically around that area, not a lot of people live, but in comparison to where we used to host the event, which was I believe at Veterans Park. So I just think that the location, we didn't have a lot of things on our side, and I don't think, and I had the idea, I had brought it up to Ernie, of maybe taking advantage of the culinary bike tour thing that the town sponsored this year, in the coming year. So that there's sort of, that division between youth activities and, activities that are more inclined to the adult population in the town. I just didn't think that this was a worthy, investment. I don't think it was an investment. I think it was more of a waste. So moving forward, I would ask for, if it's not logistically looking well for us to reconsider the event in the first place.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think this committee will ever vote for it to go off of our agenda or off of our line items. This event isn't meant to have 1 million people show up to it. This event is not a Halloween event. This event is not an Easter event. This is one of our lower money line items. I don't see this going anywhere as it's the second oldest event in the town. And right now, our committee has more people showing up than the Veterans Day Parade.
Right.
Just so you are aware, which is the oldest event in the town. And they still haven't done anything about that event, right?
Are you referring to get rid of the other?
No, but,
Hold on, let me finish. This, I don't see this event going anywhere. I don't see this as a waste of funds or a waste at all, because it is a safety event. Saying that it's a waste is an insult to every single person that planned this event on this table, especially Officer Orlando. So I would never call it a waste. Even though no one may have shown up, and in the past years, we had maybe one person show up, it is never a waste because we're giving awareness for safety. So it's never a waste. None of our events our events are wastes, right? So I would never call it a waste. That's up to you if you want to call it a waste, but that's an insult to me. That's an insult to everyone on this table that planned this event. You've been here for no offense, but you've been here for 2 months. You weren't in the planning stages for this event.
Through the chair, if I may have a chance to speak. I don't wanna go on and on about the event. My articulation of it was that there's a better way we could frame the event so more people take advantage of it. I said it was a waste of funds because of the situations that we were put into. I never said that the time and effort put in by the committee was a waste. So for the record, I'm not devaluing anybody's time. I don't seek to devalue anybody's time in the committee at all. I think I've made that pretty clear from my past statements. I'm just saying that there are better ways for us to go about using our funds where we could look back, analyze what's been done before, implement that again. And I think one of the most, let's preserve town traditions. I'm not saying get rid of the bike rodeo. I'm saying morph it in a way where more people take advantage of the event. And funds are adequately used so that everybody in the town takes advantage of the opportunity. Apart from the miscommunications that there were on the town's end. And, just all the other negative things that happened, I think that this event could have been much better. I'm not saying that it was a waste. Again, like I said, just to make that clear on anyone's behalf, I just think that there were a lot of things that were not in our favor, and I think it would be very humble of us to admit that because there were in fact a lot of things that were not in our favor.
That's fine, and that's why we're talking about it, but not everyone feels the same. So, at the end of the day, like I said, there's always room for improvement for these events, for any event. This event has always been one of the smaller events, and this will never be a large event, I'm being honest with you. And it's never been a large event. Those that have been to this event know it's never been a large event. We're lucky if we get 100 people to this event. This event is not about bringing in numbers. This event is not about having 1 million people there. This event is about, like I said, awareness for safety on bike safety.
But
And not even just bike safety, any safety, and bringing up different organizations like the police department, the fire department, corrections, different agencies come out to give information on. Public safety goes, everyone puts in their time and effort to come out and give out information. It's not our fault that people don't show up. Yes, the locations have changed over the years, but we try new stuff, and if it doesn't work, we go back to where we were before when it was more successful. We tried something new this year, it doesn't work, we talk about it next year to see if we bring it back to the other location. That's fine. That's always an option as well. We just brought it back to its original location that it was always at before we had to move from that location, and now we had our chance to come back to this location. Didn't work out, that's fine. We go back if we want to Mary Collins. We could try here if we want to. We've done it in this parking lot before. There's nothing wrong with that. But we'll come back to that at a later date. I want to hear from the other committee members that were there first. Before Diane, if you have anything else to say about them, speak first, please, as they were there.
Go ahead.
Through the chair, I would like to go back to our previous concern that Officer Amador stated. When I arrived at the location, I thought it was gonna be at a different parking lot.
Yeah.
So we did also notice that where the BMX Trickstar set up, it was kind of uneven. So I do think it's best if we do change it back to our original location. But that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I think we all in the same agreement, I think we tried it and it didn't work this year.
Yeah.
And we can look into it again, like Brian said, next year, but I think, we did our best, and Officer Armour, thank you for getting all the
Yeah.
people that you brought for this, because I know that takes a lot of planning and a lot of time. A lot of time and planning, and Ernie, you were there, you had set up the day before, you had set everything up. And I know that took a lot of your time and effort and sweat and tears and everything, and
Saw you, man.
and we were there to
Saw
help
you.
as well. We got those of us that got there early at 8:30 were there, taking up to set up and everything. So
Yeah.
I think we did our part. And like Brian said, it's an informative event. That's it. That's what it's supposed to be, to help the town. Inform the citizens. So
So, through the chair, I would just like to touch up on all the points spoken about, because I'm a debater. I'm not a debater, but in the sense of I like going through points. I feel like in terms of the outcomes of the event, it's kind of confusing because there's contradictory points. It's okay, we understand the negative outcomes or the things that weren't in our favor. And those are one of the primary reasons of why it wasn't successful, as one may assume. And in terms of creativity on our part, I think it was creative in the sense that we tried to change the location, because last year when it was at Veterans Park, it was still around the same amount of population of people that showed up. So we tried to do something different to see maybe, well, we can have a greater population if it was at the farmer's market. Now, obviously, if you want to consider the negative outcomes of the storm happening that day, that even you yourself couldn't arrive or thought it was canceled, or you didn't come until a way later time, it makes it shown that that was a primary factor in why the event could have been as successful as it was. But in terms of the actual event and how it was planned and what it was done, and even the people that did show up and the little like kids that got their bikes, like there was a little girl that she was like maybe like 12 years old, didn't never have a bike, and she was ecstatic about it. I think like resourcing our funds towards that and the people that did come to the event and did enjoy it with the funds that was had and the planning that was given was very successfully well done. And I do understand your point about the culinary bike tour. But at the same time, we are to serve like the youth population more than the adult population at the end of the day. So we're also looking at things that what kids would like, what entertains them. That's the main point of like the BMX trip tours. So it's just like, I understand where you're coming from, but I feel like if you're acknowledging one main point, which is the negative favors, the things that were not in our favor that day, primarily the storm, then you can't necessarily come with another point that extremely contradicts it on how like the creativity of the event on our part as a committee and how we're trying to be flexible to make it better in the terms of like the population and things like that. But I think like, again, as everybody has stated, like, thank you, Officer Amarillo, for everything like you planned. I think it was extremely successful. I think the like the little kids that got their bikes, they were extremely happy. The people that got their helmets, they were extremely happy. Like I even was sitting with Angelica and then I heard a crowd clapping. I was like, oh my gosh, there's that many people. I didn't even know that many people walked by. And it was in a storm. So the fact that even those residents that can come in the storm, it was like, I think it was extremely successful for the negative favors that day.
Yeah, and I also wanted to put on the record to thank Nancy Rogers from Public Safety.
Yeah,
Yes.
showed up.
Oh, yes.
She was there.
Oh, yeah.
But I did wanna,
Anyway.
I did wanna touch off on one thing. You had talked about the bike rides. We have tried to do bike rides in the past with neighborhood improvement, and they have not shown any interest to do it again with us. That's why we don't do bike rides anymore. It does
We
cost a
tried.
lot of money. We have done it by ourselves before. But because of budgeting, we stopped doing bike rides. We are way too much money just because we need to pay for police.
To escort the people.
Right, so through the chair, about the bike ride, so when it comes to bike rides, again. My idea behind the bike rodeo is to ride a bike, like the idea of going through the community, again.
That's not the
That's
purpose
not
of
the
the
point
bike,
of
of the bike rodeo. And the bike rodeo is to teach people about bike safety. and
Yeah,
awareness.
it's not
We're
a
not-
bike
It's
ride.
not, it's not an event like, oh, let's ride bikes through the community. That's what they
That's
have,
a bike
one-
ride.
that's a bike ride. a
The
bike,
neighborhood
uh,
improvement
They
doesn't
do
just
that,
do, they
the
do
one
their
where
own
they
bike rides
order
too.
food or whatever.
Not even the
This-
cultural, they do their own bike rides.
They do their bike rides. It's not a
That's-
bike
That's
ride.
neighborhood improvement.
It's called a bike rodeo, but it's not a bike ride.
And then
That's
I
not
think
the-
we should
that's the purpose
reconsider
of it.
the event overall, of reframing the event so that there's more of an interest by the town, because. The truth of the matter is that. There's not a huge interest in going to the bike rodeo to get information that you can access in your phone.
And honestly, you're saying interest from the town. I'm being honest here, what I've heard from the council members is that they loved it. And
There was only.
from
one
Vice Mayor
councilman-
Fernandez, he
the
told
one-
me it was a great event.
Of
But here,
course,
hold
the
on,
one
let
person
me
that
speak,
showed up.
let me speak. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. And I spoke to this about with other council members as well. And Ernie's aware of this, the town is aware of this, and they're working on it because Vice Mayor Fernandez had an item on this last night. When it comes to social media and posting our events, there's a problem with all committees right now. Again, we're going through this again for the third time.
Mhm.
Where they did not post this event once. Anywhere on social media. So I don't blame the layout of the event. I don't blame anything on this event. I think this event was perfect and in all honesty, I think the problem with this event was the marketing for this event. They didn't market it, no one knew about it, no one knew what was happening. So I wouldn't blame this committee. I wouldn't want to take it off the agenda. I wouldn't go in front of town staff and tell them, hey, this was a bad event, take it off our budget. I wouldn't do any of that. Because you know what? That's on them for not posting it. Okay? So whatever has been said, that's just my opinion, and I'm sure other people agree with me, that this wasn't posted and this event wasn't the biggest event in the world and not financially responsible event. No, not because of us, not because of what we had at the event, not because of what happened at the event. It's because it wasn't posted properly. It wasn't marketed properly. As someone that studied marketing and communications and social media, Those things have effects on stuff, and we've seen it in the past. When they don't post our stuff, and we had this once with Easter, with our spring fling event, for the egg hunt. And we had a lot less numbers than we thought, and we figured out why. They didn't post it anywhere. They posted it once, 4 months ahead of it. So there's give and take for everything. Yes, there's things we could improve on for our event. Obviously, there's always gonna be something we can improve on. But restructuring the whole event, I don't think we have to do that. It's a traditional event. And you keep saying tradition, the town tradition. I don't know what that means. There's no town tradition. We do what we do. We're a committee. We work to do stuff for children in this town. There's no tradition. We wanna do something new, we do something new. If we wanna keep something, we keep something. That's why we're here and we vote on it, right? There's no tradition. I don't know, oh, keep town tradition. I've heard that around here a few times. I don't know what that means. I've never heard of that. I've lived here for 26 years, since I was born. I don't believe in no town tradition or being conservative about stuff. I'm here to make a decision. This is the money they give me. This is the money we're gonna use. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we can do. Right.
I don't think we have to go on around town about.
It's not bad, it's fact.
You know, it's not fact, you're stating your opinion about the event. I've stated my case about it, I think we could do way better things with this event. If we could open it up to other populations of the town, I think that we should all do what's within our interest to appeal to more people, especially due to the fact that budgets are being cut all over the place. Especially, you know, committees are being cut, a lot of things that are happening. I think that we should custom our budget to be a little bit more effective and be a little bit more, I guess, inclusive of all of us, of our residents. With that being said, I have not at any point talked about any social aspects apart from the fact that we should preserve our events. I don't believe we should take any events off our budget, because if we do, the town council will say, well, if the event wasn't good, take it off. I'm saying if we restructure it in a way where it's attractive to the council, right? They will be more inclined to even increase our budget for certain events. If we do an event, an informational event, for the town to be aware about, you know, public safety or whatever, or I'm not against that. I'm not saying I'm against that, but I think that there are better ways for us to go about it. That's all I'm stating.
Thank you.
And with that, I reserve my time.
Any updates for the bike riding that you guys got from them?
Well, yeah, first and foremost, Rob, thank you so much for always doing your part in making this, this event as best as it can be. I wanted to say that there are two types of people that attend the events. And with this event in particular, it isn't something that you tend to hang out. If this event doesn't have the type of attendance that you have, that you expect for them to hang out there for too long. Okay, it's they revolve, they come and go, they come and go, they come and go. Unlike Easter or unlike Halloween, where they have people there for hours. Okay, the fact that we tried to change the event over to Main Street, at first, I wasn't on board with it, but then I understood. And I saw where I saw the vision that you guys had with wanting to bring it there, because at the end of the day, the farmer's market does bring out a lot of people, a lot of attendance. And there are plenty of people that live in that area. It isn't just the Main Street area, but you're talking about neighboring, neighborhoods surrounding that part. So I thought it was a good idea at the end of the day, and it's unfortunate because the storm that was supposed to come never came. And that does leave a lot of people wondering or questioning, should we even bother going outside that day? Because it's gonna be a torrential downpour all day, it's gonna be wet, it's not even worth it, they're gonna probably cancel it, whatever. But I think that no matter what, this is what the committees are for, is to sit down and elaborate and to think of other ideas if a particular event hasn't gone the way that they envisioned it. Okay, and the mere fact that you guys changed it up and wanted to go on a different, a different place, a different route, I applaud you guys for doing that. We took a chance. It's just unfortunate though, because I don't blame it on the area that we placed the event in. I blame it on the actual, what was happening in terms of weather. Okay, that was a big turnoff for a lot of people. Okay, a big turnoff. So I don't blame it. Yeah, you know, I heard that some of you guys want to consider going back to the, you know, to where the old, event was had. That's fine, you guys, you guys are always, you guys make a vote on that. If you guys were to leave it for next year there, I wouldn't be mad at it at all.
Yeah, so that's what I was just.
In fact, I would lean harder, over towards, Robin Amador and see if I can speak to the Grams about maybe removing, certain areas, where there were blind spots and they couldn't see
Yeah.
from where the tents were at. Correct, exactly, to where we're at. That's a big deal. The only negative that I would like to add and nobody else really did add was, and it's because, Officer Amador and I spoke to the BMX Trickstars where there was an unevenness on the street. And they had a hard time figuring out where they were gonna set their ramps and their quarter pipe. So, at the end of the day, safety is number one. Okay, if we go back to Mary Collins, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? We've already tried it there. We've had years where it's been a great event, and we've had years where it hasn't been as wonderful as we wanted it to be. Okay, but that's where, again, I go back and I fall back to what I was just, what I was saying about you guys. You guys are always willing to try these things. All right, everybody just wants to stay stagnant. Oh, let's keep on trying. Let's keep on trying. And if it doesn't work, oh, let's cut it loose. It didn't work. Okay, but you guys want to keep on doing it and keep on trying it. That's fine with me. I'm all for it. So, kudos to everybody here. For doing their part, with the bike rodeo, and kudos to Officer Amador for, giving it his all, as always. So that's it. That's all I want to say right now.
Through the chair, and this is, I don't want to beat a dead horse, and I know we have a lot of things to discuss, but just thinking of, our other conversations we have, and that's the point. We meet together as a committee, we discuss things, and then we come up with alternatives. That's why we work together. Is it, just a question, the timing of it? I'm just curious, is there a reason why it's usually in September? Because I noticed Safety Week is.
Bike month is in April.
Or no, not
In
like, it was
March.
something, we changed it, oh, I know why we changed
The
it.
heat.
We changed it because it was hot,
Okay.
hotter in the summer, or before, and rain. It
Okay.
rained a lot more.
Rain was the
We used to do it in
biggest.
April, we get rained out, in 1 year it got rained out, so we moved it to September and we
Got it.
kept it in September.
Okay,
Yeah, and then we noticed when we did it in that September, it was a lot cool, yes, it's still hot outside, but it was a lot cooler in the morning.
okay.
And it didn't rain as much.
Just because I was thinking, oh, maybe it gives it a little bit more purpose, because you can really connect it. Oh, this is safety,
Mhm.
Yeah,
week and month, and.
I
we
mean,
can-
that could always be an
and-
option too, is to move it
But
back.
always move it
Yeah,
back,
it
Well, this-
wouldn't be
yeah.
negative.
At the same time, that is really close to spring fling, so I think
That's
that's
true.
another
That's
reason.
the other reason.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Decoration, yeah.
Okay, just
Because
thinking
Because
of
at one point it
ideas.
was moved to the park, spring fling,
It was
the
like
bike
back to
rodeo,
back.
this, that, the ice cream social,
Yeah, makes sense.
everything at once, and then we had a big gap for Halloween.
I think next year, these are all things that we can bring
Absolutely.
about, and next year we'll figure out how we wanna do it next year. Because we always, like Ernie says, we always troubleshoot, we say, okay, how can we do this better? And we do every year, our events get better every year, guys, they really do.
Yeah, I just wanna say one thing, cause I will forget for next one. And here this year, but for the raffle, for the raffle, I think also we should look into limiting it to the child needs to be there for the raffle, because I know that was another thing that brought up. But just a note for the meeting minutes for next year. But I do think the event was at a disadvantage because of the weather. I think we've all like went in circles about that. But considering that, we did have a pretty good turnout with
For what it
the,
was, yeah.
For
yeah,
what
what we had, honestly.
Yeah, I'm sorry I showed up late, I was at work, I showed up in the rain. I was in the rain. Outside. In full uniform from the airport, so. But from what I saw and what I would talk to everyone that was there, it wasn't the worst event in the world. So I applaud those that got there early, helped out, did everything they had to do to make this event successful, so thank you guys.
I was there on time.
Wow.
And our- so no.
Perfect, I think we're good on bike rodeo.
Yeah.
Conclude on
Go ahead.
on something, not just this event, but every event, I noticed that the only reason why it's any success at all is because of all you guys that are working your asses off every time. And I really, and I tell Ernie all the time, I can't believe how hard you guys work, because at the end of the day, you're not being paid for anything, so all of you guys make it. And Ernie was breaking his butt the day before, that day, weeks before. We have been talking about a bunch of stuff. So, you know, you definitely, you need a raise.
Yeah.
Gonna pick it.
And the one thing I wanna say was,
To everyone in the council.
Put it.
the tricksters, I think we have to think about them, and they were, it was a big concern. There was a big safety concern.
Yeah.
And I know that at the other location, it's all set, right? Like,
It's
we
easy.
know where they're gonna be and they're already set up.
So, speaking of that, and I think I talked to Ernie about this at one point, was instead of doing it in the parking lot, you know, the road next to it? The main road, not the main road, not one, not Miami Lakes, the one, the side road.
See, like almost a continuation of the.
That goes in front
Yeah, I
of the
think-
gym or whatever. If we could shut down that road,
We could.
they shut down the road for the
So
farmer's market.
I did speak to Andrea from the Grant.
That's the town road. Is it? No.
I did speak to Andrea from the Grants, and I did, they actually offered it to me. They offered, so if you're standing. Just try to picture yourself standing in the middle of where corner 67 is and the Cien Montaditos and the Sweat 330.
Oh, in the square.
Right in the middle there,
of Main Street.
Oh,
in the
wow.
middle.
That was my
They offered- That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
That's
No,
what
no,
I thought it
and mind you, they offered it
Uh-huh.
in front of my supervisor Manny, who was there on the meeting. And I said, yeah, give me give me a date. Let me speak to Rob from BMX Trick Stars. My concern, which you guys didn't get a chance to notice it, but there's a lot of low hanging branches.
Oh.
And those guys go high.
Mm.
And in fact, I don't know if you guys noticed, those that got there, well, I mean, the earliest there was Rob and I, and then the girls got there a little bit after. I don't know if you guys even noticed, I think it was done before you guys, they started cutting.
Or is that where they were breaking?
That was when we all had to be there.
We all had to
Okay.
get there at 8:30. We all got there.
They cut those branches because they knew that they do their tricks, they may, or they would end up hitting one of those branches.
Okay.
That was my concern, so I went back to Andrea and I told Andrea, I love the idea, however, it won't work because of the low hanging branches. She was, maybe we could plan it in the future to prune,
Yeah, beforehand.
and yeah, and make it there, or, where the farmer's market finishes. Where Soto and the girls had set up with the bikes,
Yeah,
well, that area right there.
will be better
Even Rob said, well, if we cut certain areas here, we can most definitely do this here next year.
next year.
Okay, so that's a thought.
Something to think about, yeah.
That's a thought.
Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah, I think that's a great area. If I'm being honest, I think it's better than Mary Collins because it's on a main road area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just
We're
gotta
really
try,
got a
we
lot
just gotta
more.
try, I think, the different locations there and try a couple of different
It's
things,
so-
and better
and it's safe.
advertising and everything. and it'll work
It's
out.
so central
Later,
Miami
we get
Lakes.
Bombarded.
Yeah,
It's central Miami Lakes. It's not behind the building.
yeah.
It's not behind the Boy Scout building, behind the CVS where you can't see anything. I think it'll bring more attention if we do try to keep it there.
And what Rob just finished mentioning, there's a lot of canopy there. We don't have canopy in Mary
Yeah,
Collins.
it's very hard.
The canopy is on the outskirts of the parking lot. But only so many people can go there, and remember, we have vendors parking that area. So everybody who wants to see the BMX trick stars are underneath the sun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of canopy there, that's also a good thing.
I think we talked enough about bike rodeo. We still have other stuff we need to go through, so let's keep on going. Next is holiday festival. I know we're in full swing with that right now with Oscar, Ernie, correct?
So far, I mean, well, guys, there's been very little talks about the holiday festival, simply because we have not this weekend, but the following, we have the Halloween event. So that's been on my plate and on my mind more than anything else.
Yeah.
I do believe that the holiday festival would be done very easily. I don't know if you guys remember, those that were here last year with the committee, there was an issue where, Twilight, sent the wrong movie. And they felt terrible about it, so they are going to give us a huge opportunity by discounting us. So that means more monies in our side, which will favor the event itself. So I have zero worries about that event. I think that event is gonna take off.
In-kind sponsor too, so.
It's gonna take off immensely. So and who doesn't want to throw out their names, especially in a holiday event, I think that everybody wants to be noticed and recognized, especially all the local and the small businesses.
Mhm.
So we have had interest. There's been talks. Nothing has been, sent to me in terms of sponsorship dollars, but there is talks about it.
Got it.
We have a date.
We just wanna make sure with the date.
Yeah, I think
that's
we
the
did have a
only thing we
date.
start-
We,
Cause we had December
December
14th, but Officer
That's
Alvarez brought up that December 14th is the day of the reindeer run in the morning at Veterans.
That don't even matter.
Doesn't it matter that is it a color run?
The rainbow run, the reindeer run, excuse me, is it starts at 4 in the morning
Yeah.
or 5 in the
Yeah,
morning.
it's early, it's
It
early.
should end by 9.
We did an event that, or another
9:40.
holiday event that same day, and we still had people come out. When we.
I don't, so I don't think that'll be, I don't think it'll be an issue. I really don't.
They take their tents away and stuff, right? Cause they normally sometimes leave tents like for the next day. That's my only
Well, we
concern.
can use it.
Well, yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Really?
They don't pick up their tent until the next day.
Oh, we can use those tents. Okay.
Perfect, so I think we're good with the holiday event.
Yeah, we'll talk
wait,
about it next
through
month.
the chair, can we just confirm the date or?
December 14th.
It's already been voted.
It's in the minutes. It's already been voted on.
It's,
So we can go to the next thing.
Hall of Fame things that day, doesn't matter.
Sports hall, no.
Okay.
If anything, we'll come back.
And the times is sometime in the afternoon.
Mm.
The minutes say that it said, we were thinking about December 14th, but it should be 7th. I don't know if we confirmed it. Did we vote on it?
I think we did.
That was voted on in
That
the
was
beginning
voted
of
on
the year.
before, yeah, when we made the whole agenda.
Like the
The budget.
date and everything?
Yeah, cause we had to give the council the dates.
Yeah.
Remember like
Correct.
6 months ago.
That event, every budget year, we give them the dates.
at 6 p.m. 7.
Well, the time we can decide next month.
Yeah,
When
we have
talk
to
about
see,
it,
we
we-
have to see what daylight savings and.
Yeah, let's leave it till next month, but we'll talk about it next month.
Really quick, I'm gonna motion to open up item 5 again, order of business. Do we have a motion? A second?
Second.
We have a second, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes. I'm also gonna motion to add item 6A, which is the Youth Initiative Award. Do we have a second? We have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, motion passes. Thank you. And we'll go back. We're done. Anything else on item 5 before we move? No? Perfect. I'll move on to item 6A, which is really quick, the Youth Initiative Award. I know Maritza's not here, but we were supposed to discuss this today. I forgot to put on the agenda, but that's why I just didn't know. We already have a winner. I know we're supposed to discuss the application, but we got one application, so congratulations to whoever. Congrats to whoever the girl is that one. That's all I know, is the girl that applied.
I have no idea.
Harper Bowman.
I was just told one girl applied. That's all I was told. So they automatically win the award.
That makes it
We
easy.
had so many applicants actually, and it was actually like very, very hard to choose one.
So
Yeah,
congratulations.
Way too many.
So Ernie, we good with that?
Yes, I'm just waiting on Moritz to give me the information, so we can go ahead and proceed with the plaque. The plaque should take no more
What's
than
the day of
3 days.
the mayor or
the 20th.
the town meeting?
I believe it's the 20th.
Of October?
It's gonna be presented the 20th.
Oh,
October
okay.
or-
No, it's the 24th.
Okay, 24th.
24th of October.
So
What day does that land on?
I will need it by tomorrow.
It's next Thursday.
Okay, so we're good. We don't have a meeting that day.
Next week.
24th?
Do we attend?
Yes. Well, we haven't gotten an invitation yet. From the town, because I think you need to be invited. And have we asked them to put that on the agenda for them yet? For the state of the town. The itinerary. Because if they already ordered the itinerary card, we got an issue.
We can do it next month, no?
We want to do it at the city of the town.
That's gonna be pretty short. I'll find out tomorrow.
Can you let me know? Cool. I think we're good there. Hey,
Hello.
What a
Can
minute.
I? Step in?
Yep.
No, maybe, what guys wanna let everybody know that I'm here?
What a minute. Do we have to,
we have to want to put on the record, Manny Martinez from the town is joined our meeting.
do we have to ask the mayor's chief of staff? Like, do we have to vote on that? Or
It's already been voted on.
we voted on doing it that day. Do we have to vote on like contacting him.
This was voted on way before you got here, over a year and a half ago. For it to be at the state of the town and to request it with them, so that's been voted on way before, so we don't have to do it again.
But wasn't it not done at the state of the town last time?
Correct. And it was already voted on after
Yeah,
that,
after
once
that.
after that happened, we already voted on that too. So it's voted on twice. So if you contact Joseph for Manny, you're happy to do that. Perfect. And if Moritz wants to come and talk about it when he gets here, if he's coming, I don't know, I'm just saying, we'll figure that out. We'll move on to item 7, sponsorships. Anyone get any sponsors lately? I did. You guys have any?
Okay. I was actually gonna say something. Actually, I do have a contact, my cousin, she's a partial owner of Blue Laser, she said she was interested. I was looking through my emails, I couldn't find the sponsorship packet, so Ernie, if you could just send it to me again, I can reach out to her.
I'll send you.
I'll give more credits to Moritz for my sponsorship. I didn't answer the text message, Moritz did. No, because they put me in a group chat with him and the sponsor, it's Specialty Smiles. They did offer to, I think Moritz already approved it without saying anything. But they are giving $1,000 for Halloween with the in-kind sponsor of a photo booth together. So we need to get that check ASAP from them,
Yes.
Ernie, please, before you know.
Also, just to add, since we're talking about sponsorship, by dentistry.
I heard about that too.
By dentistry went ahead and sent an email to me regarding the sponsorship packet. So they're normally the kind of company that, you know, usually puts in some kind of sponsorship dollar. I don't think that that'll change this year, but I mean, we'll see. Seems like they were interested, so now it's just a matter of waiting.
Apparently Moritz is here.
Who?
Or it's just parking.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah, so if we wanna talk to them further. Wait, I saw a text about it, but I never answered.
That's fine, that's fine.
Someone else answered. All right. I think they contacted Eddie Spaniel, so I think they're in contact together to try to see what they can do.
Okay.
And maybe we could talk to them too. I think they wanted to do any kind more than money, but what, I don't know what else we could have in kind from them, maybe candy or something, a lot of candy.
That'll always be,
Candy from a orthodontist?
I don't know about that one.
Hey, it'll bring them more business. It makes sense.
That's the biggest investment they can make.
It's the big, yeah, they make more money. Okay. I think we're good when it comes to sponsorship. Move on to Halloween. So Halloween season is here. Next Saturday, not this Saturday, the Saturday after is the day of the event. Yesterday, we had our first volunteer meeting. Thank you, everyone that did show up. Those that had, that's who I understand, but those that weren't doing anything and showed up. Thank you.
We wanted it the other way.
Please place on the record that we're at Acosta.
And I did tell the lines there.
But no, I do want to thank everyone that was there last night at our committee volunteer meeting for Halloween. We had about 80-90 volunteers. I know we did ask for 150, so I talked to Ernie already. Instead of opening it back up and announcing that we're opening up the applications, we let a bunch of volunteers know. If you have people that want to volunteer that are in high school, send them to the meeting and they could either open it back up, let them sign up in front of us, they're there. And then we have them on that list. So we'll go from there, because if not, if we open that up, we'll have 300. So we ain't gonna do that. Yesterday, I think it was pretty good for those that were there. I was running on fumes, so thank you to Haley for picking my coffee. No, we have a lot, most of this group is brand new to this event. A lot of new faces,
Yeah.
about 80%, 90%
Yeah.
are brand new.
I like that.
And they were very cool, very nice, more respectful than other viewers were. I didn't have to yell at them to be quiet. Or tell them to be quiet.
They're mostly Barbara Goldman kids, thank you.
I saw that. I saw that. Out of all of them, everyone said they'll be there the day of the event. I didn't have one person say no. I had one maybe say they had to leave early because of a family thing. That's understandable. That's one out of 80 or 90. But no, honestly, they're good to go. We have a meeting tomorrow at 5:30 at the park again. And then next week on Tuesday, and then on Friday. So if you guys could be there at these volunteer meetings as well as the event, it helps out and shows these kids that we are working. We actually had a student come up to myself and Ernie yesterday trying to join the committee. I think Lawrence was there too.
Yeah.
So, we do make a difference in these kids' lives. You don't realize it just by us showing up there, and then other high school students, they see that you guys are involved, they want to get involved. So just being there, and even if you don't say anything, I talked the whole night like yesterday. But even if you don't say anything, you guys do make a difference by being there and showing them, hey, and I told them, we don't get hours, we don't get paid, we don't get anything. We're here just like you guys volunteering. You guys are at least getting volunteer hours. So it does make a difference in these kids that it shows them, hey, you could do good without receiving payment for something.
You want volunteer?
Oh, totally.
I'll sign it for you, don't worry.
So for those that were there last night, before we go into everyone else, those that were there, do you have any comments? I know Angelica was there.
The place is
Yeah.
great, the location. of
Yeah,
it.
so
It's
we,
not
so
always
just so
right.
you guys are aware, we got allowed access from the Graham Company to use the Boy Scout building. Honestly, if we could do that every year, or
Great.
even if we go next door, on the other side where the offices are, that's a large space as well. If they let us use that, if one day they use the Boy Scout building again, vice versa, whatever. I think it's a lot easier to do it than in Mary Collins where we have to take everything out, put everything back, take everything out, put everything back. Here, they are allowing us to use it for the rest of the month until the day of the event to keep our items inside. We have keys, there's air conditioning, there's bathrooms, it's clean-ish.
Everything you need. There's just no chairs, but they can sit on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you could bring chairs
We
from
can
the.
bring chairs over
community
from the,
center.
from the community center.
But
Did you guys
it
get to
was-
move the costumes yet or no?
Not yet, we're
So
gonna do that tomorrow. Yep.
So what I wanted to do, just to keep you guys in the loop, what I'll do tomorrow morning, during my time at Mary Collins. I'll head back there to the warehouse. I'll start bringing some stuff down.
We're gonna make it easier.
Yeah, it'll make it easier, the
If you
trips
just let
to
me
and
know,
from.
I'm off tomorrow.
No, how will that come from?
I'm off from work, I'm gonna help you for a little bit.
You wanna swing by, yes, you're more than welcome.
What time are you gonna start? Tell them what time you're gonna start bringing stuff down, so
We can go,
we can go and help
Yeah.
you start bringing stuff. down.
Tomorrow?
if you're gonna start.
I'd rather go help you and take stuff down and then I can
Is your-
either,
Is it school tomorrow?
no, we have school, when we get out, and already like a 4.
No, at 4 I'm gone.
Oh, you're gonna
Let me know.
you're gonna do them in the morning?
Yeah, somewhere between, I was probably saying, we don't have any meetings tomorrow, do we, man? Somewhere between 9 and 11:30, that's, I really only need about an hour and a half. I'll just take it down, I'll stack them right there near, and when we open the double doors, the kids can just grab and just take them to the building, that's it.
So this event is rolling right now. Unfortunately, some updates, I don't think we're gonna be able to do the trunk or treat this year
Oh, okay.
because of. There were a lot of
The issues.
planning backups because of the storm and everything closing and
Okay,
stuff like that, so I made the executive decision and just scrap it this year.
Okay.
We can look into it next year, be a little
That's
more prepared, because this
Yeah.
year we're a little bit on the fence, we didn't know for sure.
Yeah.
So we got the idea,
We'll
of it.
prepare for it.
We can prepare for it next year, things like that. Which is fine, the other thing I kind of thought about it too is, it is still far from the rest of the event.
Yeah,
Maybe we could think of something that may be closer, things like that. We do have a parking lot right behind the area of the event, behind the pavilions.
yeah.
Maybe move it closer,
Move it
because
to
it's a
there.
little more closed area.
And that has better lighting too.
There is
because
better
you-
lighting there, more lighting parking lot.
And if we have one of those office spaces next year for us to use,
Correct.
it'll be
All
easier,
there.
it'll be right there, it'll be easier.
We can
Let's
figure something out.
finish stuff for next year.
Overall, the volunteers seem excited. They seem pretty cool.
Yeah.
I haven't, a lot of questions, good questions. We have the remind chat with them.
Oh, yeah, you set that up already.
I got one message, have not answered them.
But my question is this, for tomorrow, did you tell them to be there at 5?
I'm gonna text them after this meeting. They already know, I made it very clear that it's at 5:30.
The email, if you guys, I know you
Yeah, there's
noticed,
an email.
the next three.
Yesterday there was confusion, I thought people were saying that it was at 6:30.
No, so
It
there
was-
wasn't any confusion. I showed Ernie the confusion.
That was my
It was
fault.
on the email that he sent, because I was included in the email, on myself and Moritz.
It said 5:15.
It said, the first one, it said 6:30 to 8.
Ah,
And then it's, the other ones were 5:30 to
Oh,
7.
okay.
So through the chair, there was, at least from what I heard, I wasn't present yesterday. But that there is interest on like students joining the committee. I had brought this up last time, but there was not a lot of time. So now that Moritz has turned 18, can we consider him an adult member?
No,
Open a student
he has
position?
to decide whether he wants to be an adult member or a student position. That is on him or the town. If the town doesn't want to do it, if this council member doesn't want to do it, this council member does not have to do it. Yeah. So that's all on them, that's none of us.
Okay, so 5:30 it is tomorrow,
Yeah.
5:30
Yeah.
tomorrow.
So for those
If I
that,
show up at 5:30, I ain't gonna need you. 5:30, if I show up at 5:30, there's nobody, no kids there yet.
so
No,
for-
5:30.
It's just 5:30, that was.
if the committee could show up at 5:15, that's great. It
So
gives us
5:30,
time
thank you
to
so much, I'll be there at 5:30.
Do whatever you want, but if we could show up at 5:15 and give us time to set up, make sure that the registration stuff is set up. Ariana, you gonna be there, bud?
No.
I wasn't that.
Can we print out that sign-in sheet, please? Okay, so-
Highlighted.
So I got-
It's all I can send it, so I already put the dates for it.
So for those that were there, I know Ariana, any thoughts on the meeting we had yesterday?
I think we had a good group of people. I mean, we had a lot of, I wouldn't say regulars, but we had a lot of people.
A lot of good familiar faces though.
Yeah,
Good ones,
yeah.
too.
Yeah. We definitely need more though, because I did hear some of them complaining like, oh, we can only fit 3 people into the chant, and usually we do 4 people, sometimes like 5, depending on the
Yeah,
year. So, we asked for 150, only 90 showed up, so.
Let's see, let's
So
see
how,
how
you told them
many.
to invite other kids so that they could then, so they'll be allowed to bring them
So
that way.
depending on how many show up tomorrow, we'll do another count. If we don't, we'll put out another.
You put another
blast.
event right, yeah, blast. You have to.
We'll have to open it back up to see if we can get any more kids, put out a blast to people. If we get, we'll let the committee know,
Okay,
what we have to do. To try to get that 150. Obviously, if we don't, and we work with what we have. We've done it in the past where we've done this event with 20 volunteers, believe it or not.
if you need kids, you let me know, because I was told not to get kids.
If you had kids that weren't going to homecoming,
I have some kids that are not, a lot
And
of
they
kids
should-
are going to homecoming.
we
No,
told you the ones that weren't going to homecoming.
no, you did, but I was thinking you didn't want me to bring the kids to this
Right.
event, remember?
We said that they had to sign up for the event.
Can you bring kids tomorrow?
Oh, now you're asking me, are you asking me?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
Oh, okay, because 2 years ago I was told not to bring my kids, okay, so I will bring
Yes.
kids.
We
But
just, we want.
here's the thing, we have
wanna open it
90.
So that,
Bring here.
so
let's
we,
be
the
safe,
thing is,
bring
the thing is that we have to open it so that everybody.
Yeah,
can
we'll
know
go
it.
50,
Oh.
So it was open, we got
Okay,
90,
bring 30 kids.
we got 90,
No,
Or more.
that's what we have to do.
really quick,
250.
250.
no,
I'm sorry, 1,000.
Oh, we can do it.
bring the whole school.
We can find
Eh,
that.
no, pero really quick, one thing,
Talk to her girl about that.
one thing I did want to bring up that I did speak about last night before I go to the other committee members that were there. I did tell the volunteers already, because of weather, we have another system that's kind of pushing in right now.
What?
That we should know about by this weekend, next weekend.
Yes.
There, it's not, as of right now, it's not expected. No, it's Nadine. It's not expected to develop, but if it does or something happens, if we do cancel the event on the Saturday, it will be moved to the 31st. With that comes chaos, because
Yeah, it's
it's
not-
after school, believe it or not. It is gonna happen, because we've done it on a Wednesday.
No, but I'm
before.
saying, the positive thoughts.
Oh, I thought you said
Before
it's
we go on
nothing-
Saturday.
We've done it, and the event's usually more successful on Halloween night,
Yeah.
believe it or not. For those that have gone to that event on a weekday, it's worse even on the Saturday. Cause everyone's out. God forbid it doesn't happen, cause I'd rather be on
Yeah,
a Saturday
hopefully it
than
won't
on a
happen.
Thursday. Cause I ain't
I
gonna
don't
be,
receive it, I don't receive it.
oh, I work on everything. But with that comes all hands on deck. As soon as you get out of school, you run to that event, because I am not gonna set it up by myself. I did it once when Tony Fernandez was the chair of this committee and I was his vice chair. Guess who set up that whole event? Myself and Tony Fernandez, all day by ourselves until people showed up to help us. And I ripped my pants that day,
Okay, thanks for the info.
climbing up a ladder. I will never forget that. So, you remember that day? Where I ripped my pants on the ladder and got mad?
She wants to forget it.
Yeah.
They were like my favorite. But no, it was. So that is the plan. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but it can happen.
Pants ripping? or?
No.
Both.
Oscar from the food truck company was great, and he created a map for us. It is a little bit backwards, the arrows should be pointing the other way.
Yeah, it's okay.
But he
It's
did
still
create a
nice,
map,
it's
it is a nice map, and it is how we usually set it up, so that's the map.
Everybody take a picture so that we have it on the phone.
This is the same map that he did last year.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a great setup. It worked out well.
yeah, I think this year we're gonna look into kind of, we already talked about it, was to block off one side or have it one entrance, one exit for each area, especially the trick or treating area. We want one constant flow. Now that we don't have the pumpkins, we don't have to worry about people going to the pavilions, this and that. No, we could have one constant flow through. Maybe barricade it somehow. We could bring pallets. We could use pallets to barricade it. I don't care what we use. Use something.
Yeah, last year with the volunteers, like, people did not pay attention.
We need to put more volunteers on it with pallets or something in front of it and letting people in and out.
Can you provide a couple officers, Rob, in that particular area?
We're gonna need officers in front of the haunted house, and we're gonna need officers in front of the trick or treating area. Maybe not at the exit of the trick or treating area. I think we can handle that with the volunteers. Make sure no one comes through there, but at least have an officer at the front of the trick or treating area. So doesn't overwhelm our kids that are volunteering with us.
Yeah.
And then obviously we need it for the haunted house like we do everything, and people walking around.
In twos.
How many,
Except for me, I'm running around.
do we know how many officers we're gonna have at this event yet?
Yeah, I think 8.
Okay.
I think it's 8. That should be okay.
Possible to confirm again the times that we are expected to be there. and
So the volunteers are getting there. We already told them yesterday at 12.
Mhm.
I think we should be there by 11 at least, maybe earlier. I might be there at 10. I don't know what time, I know Ernie gets there early. I might be there at 10 just to, if you guys wanna show up
So
early.
1 o'clock is good, okay. thank you.
No, not 1 o'clock. No, don't say that because people watch the.
No, I'm joking around. We'll be there at 11 a.m., Brian.
There is stuff that we do on our end before these
Yeah.
volunteers get
No,
there.
I know.
We do not have any rooms in the community center.
So everything has to be brought. from,
Everything has
That's-
to go. Yeah.
That's
That's the hard
unfortunate.
part.
That's unfortunate. That's gonna be one of our.
It's gonna be the hardest thing is.
You know, Steve, can we get the town truck and the trailer, pack
Yes.
everything into the trailer and move it
Yes.
from the Boy Scout building all the way to the other side of the park where everything else is on?
Cause the carts, that's gonna be
No,
taking in the
no,
carts.
you can't have the trailer in the Boy Scout and then just transfer it over. It's gonna have to stay in one area. But that isn't a bad idea, Brian.
Or at least
You
bring
can-
the truck to load it,
I mean, maybe we could put the candy inside. Make
or the
that,
decorations.
In the train?
Oh,
I don't know about the.
no, the candy we can, but if it's hot out there, it's
Do we
gonna.
have pickup trucks, whatever we can use to bring the stuff over? I think that's the best thing, is taking it by cart.
We have 3,
Cause now you have to go through grass to go.
Uh-huh.
we have 3 carts that, you know, with wheels.
Uh-huh.
And they're purposely made to go through grass and
Yeah.
dirt and stuff like that. We can pass through there. Make sure those things are available for us.
I no longer
Don't you have a
trucks.
truck? Oh.
I haven't had that truck for over a year.
Truck one by
It's up in there.
So I can borrow the town truck for the
Yep.
day. First, I should
Through
really
the chair, when it comes to the members, during the event, are they gonna be like provided with like, snacks and water and stuff?
Yeah,
Or is
every
that-
year,
We get them.
yeah, we get them 2 snacks, right?
But they are told that they should, obviously, they're coming at lunchtime, so they should have had
They
a
eat
breakfast.
their own
some
lunch
food.
or whatever, we
And
get
they
them
should have
snacks
lunch
during the
honestly
day, and
before going.
we usually buy
The-
pizza at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the babies.
Yeah. So the food for the food for the kids, where is it coming from again? Holiday Bakery, yeah, that's right.
They could, you guys, you know, name it, you know, if it's easier. Pizza's always the easy, you know, way.
Oh, for
snack.
for dinner, that's, I mean, for the snack, when we get there, we do.
For snacks, I can go to Costco and purchase,
And then we buy those little
Chips
platter of
and
sandwiches.
And where does that funding come from?
Our budget,
It's part of our.
part of our
holiday.
budget. And that's a few that get it.
They're there for a long time, we get them.
So what do you guys wanna get? Do you want to get them for food?
I'm okay with getting the big platters of sandwiches.
Yeah.
Or the box.
Yeah,
Did
from Holiday
they-
From Holiday Bakery, I
That's
guess?
what we did the last
You guys-
year.
you guys-
I'm gonna put that last year at the bakery.
remember, it's always gonna be pricier.
Yeah.
Everything is not substantially higher
Yeah,
in price.
because, thing.
Pizzas, Mr. Lee from Papa John's has always been extremely grateful.
We buy pizza twice.
He.
I think we should do that. I think we should get pizza in the morning and pizza at
It's
night.
probably gonna be
It's the
cheaper.
easiest and cheapest thing to do.
Yeah,
He always gives us 2 liters For the
These
free,
kids don't mind eating pizza toys, trust me, they like it. They eat all the time for breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Don't cut the bottom. Yeah, it's fine. I'll
No,
find-
let's sudar, ese es más fácil. Do you need me to pick up the pizza? You want me to pick up the pizza?
Anyone can do it, we're all there.
Yeah.
I can pick it up on the way from work if you want, because I'm literally passing it up there.
But it will fit in your little tiny car, you think?
I put it on the back seat. Oh, I put it on, I've done it before.
The drinks and stuff.
Yeah, we buy drinks.
yeah, well, Costco.
So Brian will pick up the sandwich.
No, it's a pizza, wait, está Okay, so I think that's good on Halloween, we kinda need to move on.
Wait, do you need to get drinks and drinks?
That was what he did.
That comes with
Ernie
drinks?
for the- Yeah, they.
Ernie, are we good on candy? Has it shown up?
No, it's already been shipped, so I should be getting it anytime.
Okay, so this year it's gonna be a lot easier, cause we don't have to deal with pumpkins. We got candy, do we wanna just buy like random little decorations and stuff if you want, like at the dollar store?
What I was thinking about doing was,
Wedding and all that stuff.
what I was thinking about doing was purchasing, the makeup.
Makeup,
I know a lot of the
we
kids
order
use
a
makeup.
bunch of webs, like the dollar store webs, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we always do that.
Do that, just buy the basic stuff that we always.
Yeah, so for the decorations of the.
Caution tape, we need a lot of caution tape.
Rob.
And then staples, we don't have a staple gun.
No, I
We have-
think, yes.
Can we get another staple gun?
Okay.
We have one. I know, oh yeah, we want more. I forgot.
Oh, it's a safety concern, the police should be able to provide.
Okay.
No, it's not that, it's that it is police tape. It's not
Like
like
crime
a prop, yeah, like a crime scene,
Oh,
actual
okay.
tape is not a prop, that's why.
Yeah, we have our own.
And the
decorations.
lighting issue, is that resolved? We have lights?
Yeah. So I think we're good with.
And
Halloween.
the tent for the front of the haunted house,
Oh, yeah,
we need that tent, remember
Yeah,
that worked really well.
we had it last year,
Yeah, it worked really well.
and I think we should have one for the front of the trick or treating area.
Mhm.
We have a bunch of tents extra, like the little pop-up tents that we use, so.
And the lighting, we're gonna get it on Friday. We should get the light.
Yeah, should be there on Friday. Should be.
It
there.
was Friday night while we have our meeting, I can double check them.
Oh, yeah, we can test them.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll make sure to reach out to Sunbelt,
Mhm.
because they're the ones that we rent with.
Or-
Yeah, it, va a costar.
Yeah.
Pero, you know.
When is Light Effects going to start setting up?
Saturday.
Got it. The day of,
Yeah,
they usually build days before.
bro, those guys are quick, bro.
No, but I get what you're saying. Usually the physical, the wood structure
Goes up
Is-
days
is
before.
already up like 1 or 2 days before.
Yeah, they do it.
So then, yeah,
You wanna talk-
I'm not worried about them, trust me,
They do everything.
yeah. They
Then we have to
don't-
tarp it, that's the problem. If they're putting it up till the end and then we don't have tarp up, that's a problem. So,
I think we're good.
That's their problem.
so I think we're good on Halloween. Sorry if I cut anyone off. Anyone else have anything really quick? No, we're good, everyone knows.
What they're gonna do.
Tomorrow, 5:30.
11 AM, show up at the.
5:30 tomorrow, 5:30 Tuesday, 5:30 Friday, and then we have the state of the town on Thursday. And, we need to make sure with the mayor that we're on the itinerary,
For the
or
award.
at least somewhere on there.
For the-
I'll
not
speak with you
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
And if we're not, are we not gonna present?
No, we'll find out a way to present it anyway, but if we're not on that itinerary, I'm sure they can squeeze us in. I think we're good there. Anyone that was there last night notice anything that we, talked about? We had police there. We're good.
Yeah, Rob, thank you for sending out the officers.
We had one
Be
mom try
there.
to sneak in, didn't look out for me. But yeah, I think we're good there. I think we'll move on to item 8A, which
Through
is,
the chair quickly before we get there.
Yeah.
I was watching online, I was driving here, and I know you guys spoke about the leadership award. So it is correct, there was one applicant, it's a student from Barbara Goldman. I can share the name now, because Jonathan did send that over, but, in regards to the state of the town, the mayor, has already approved it being presented there.
Oh,
I already had those conversations weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, with both his assistant, and then with him as well, and they're all good with it. So we should be, I'll follow up tomorrow just to remind them that we're doing it, but they were all okay with it, and of course, the committee, is invited, and, you know, it would be great to have as many of you guys there as possible. The name of the girl is Caitlin Hernandez,
KAITLYN.
K-A-I, yes, T-L-Y-N, last name Hernandez. She's a senior at Barbara Goldman. She's logged 999 hours, which is the max that MDCPS allows you to log. And she's been involved with a lot of organizations, including the Children's Trust, the Miami Waterkeeper, and she does a lot of great work, for various organizations.
Well, Rich, what is it you want me to, give the person?
Let's order a nice plaque,
Same plaque.
like we did
Same plaque.
last year,
With the date.
you know, with her name on it, put her name on it, make sure it says YTF.
I wouldn't, do we wanna, I don't think we need to put an exact date, we can put the year. The school.
Yeah,
School.
2024, 2024.
2024, 2025.
Yeah.
24, 25.
No school name?
Oh, we could.
Be nice.
Yes.
Go Gators.
School
That'd be
name?
nice. Barbara Goldman Senior High School or something.
She had an amazing letters of rec, everything was great. So she's definitely deserving. I will reach out to her. Like today, that's my bad. I should have done it earlier. But I'll reach out to her today to let her know. Hopefully she's available next week. Either way, order it. And if she's not available for any reason, you know, we'll have to present it in January because there's no council meeting in November or December.
Moritz, who, if you don't mind my asking, who is it that you spoke to that gave you the okay to present it?
Both the mayor, Manny Sid, and his assistant Joseph Sosa. And you know, it's his event and you know, they were all cool with YTF presenting.
We talked
there.
about it with them.
Okay.
before.
Yeah, he's
We
totally,
knew about it.
he was super good with it. He said, you know, as long as we present it, they're okay with it. So hopefully we do it that night. That's next week, Thursday, October the 24th, starting at the state of the time is at 6:30,
You're right.
here at Town Hall. So hopefully we can present it then, and hopefully she's available to be there, and if not, we'll just push it back till January. I mean, she hasn't graduated.
Hopefully
yet.
she will.
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
for the record, there is a regular council meeting on, like this month, there's a second one.
That's
Just-
true.
just in
There's
case.
2 this month, so
October 29th.
October 20. So let's see, hopefully, you know, she's
One of
available
those
next
should
week,
be available.
or not October 29th.
I think I have to be here for the 29th one, for sure. I can.
Okay, perfect.
Moritz, what's the name of the award again, please?
Youth Initiative.
The
No.
candidates youth initiative.
The youth leadership.
Leadership award, sorry.
Youth Leadership Award.
Yep.
You want me to place town, you want me to put TOML or Town of Miami Lakes?
No, spell it out.
I would spell that out, yeah.
Once again,
Or the
youth,
youth, here's what you do, the Town of Miami Lakes Youth Activities Task Force presents her name with this award or whatever.
Yeah, you spelled this youth leadership award. There were some conversations when I initially spoke with the mayor's staff. About how we were gonna frame it of potentially. Like, since at the state of the town, the mayor awards a certain number of awards, employee of the year, vendor of the year,
Volunteer.
volunteer of the year. Which is typically an adult, and I believe this is gonna be an adult as well, so. There were conversations of potentially calling this the Town of Miami Lakes Youth Volunteer of the Year Award. But let's still put Youth Leadership Award on the plaque, and if we call it at night, just so it fits with the program, since the program is all of the year. Maybe we call it Youth Volunteer of the Year, if the mayor's okay with it, well, just put it in the.
okay, no problem. I'll send that to be done, tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you could literally put, youth volunteer or youth leadership award presented by the Youth Activities Task Force and then her name or whatever it is.
Maurice, why don't you email him? It'll be easier.
Yes.
Nobody has everything. in
You wanna
there.
email
Email it to
exactly
Ernie.
what it-
No, I got it here.
You got it?
I wrote down.
All right,
And Ernie, I think you were copied. In the email that Jonathan sent with her application, her whole application. So in case you do need to reference anything, just find the email from Jonathan. He sent it on October the 11th, and it has all her info.
all right.
Okay,
So
thank
I
you.
think we're good there. I'm gonna move on to item 8A, with this committee concerns. Are there any concerns that anyone has in the committee? This is your time to speak. I know a few people do, I do. And I think we need to start talking about things when it comes to how our committee works and what we do here. First of all, and I'm gonna call you out, Diane, I'm sorry, but what you did yesterday, in my eyes, was not appropriate. And going and talking behind our backs before we can have a chance to speak about the bike rodeo. And I think we had a great talk about the bike rodeo today, so this could all have been avoided. But talking about the bike rodeo in a negative way to the town council, because I did get calls today about it. Does not look good on us, does not look good on me, does not look good on Ernie, does not look good on anyone in this table. And I'm sure a lot of people could agree here, because we saw the meeting too last night. While we were at our meeting with all the volunteers, you were there, unfortunately, instead of being with your committee. And talking about committee stuff,
Wait, but
Without
I have a right to
further-
reply to that, don't I?
you will in a minute. That's my concern, what I wanted to bring up, this committee works as a team, all of us, and I've seen it before, other people have done it too, it's not just Diane, but it happened, that's why it's on this agenda. I don't like calling out names, but I think there was a boundary that was overstepped, where we weren't informed that this was gonna happen.
Well, I don't have to inform you.
I understand, I can express what I'd like to express.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't have to
and-
justify myself for what I
that's
said.
fine, I'm gonna say my own.
It's not a
thing.
matter of justifying your actions, Diane, is that you have to understand you're part of a team.
No,
And I'm talking now, so hold on for a second, okay? And I'm not happy about this situation, I'm gonna be honest with you, all right? This is a team. And whether we thrive or we sink, we do it as a team, but let's talk about it first before you go elsewhere to talk about it.
I'll be
You know what I'm saying?
honest.
Because, no, hold on, you need to hear the opinions of the others, man, this is your team. Okay, you got on board with us to do things, right? To be part of the YATF. Do you know what the YATF is? Do you really know what it is? You weren't there yesterday. When you should have been, and I know you know that we had that meeting yesterday.
I did not know.
It's funny because everybody here didn't know about
Okay,
it.
so for the record, I had to text you, and you can put this on the record. I did not receive your email till.
So you got it.
Yeah, but I got it till like an hour or two before. I had no idea about the event.
An
I had
hour
to
or two.
text you because I was told of the event by a friend who received an email because she signed up for the event. I had no idea of the meeting.
Mm.
And did I not text you? I texted you personally.
Yeah.
And I said, Ernie, can you please forward me all the information? Because I have not received anything. I don't like playing the blame game at all. Which is apparently something that we like to do a lot in the committee, where everything somehow is somebody's fault. But this isn't about playing the blame game. I had a right, everybody has a right to go before the council to say whatever they want.
Sure.
I went before the council and I spoke about the event. And I said the same thing today. There are ways that we can go about using our budget that are more effective. Again, I don't have to repeat myself because I already made that clear.
Mhm.
Now, me going before the council, I don't think I did in a negative light. I actually spoke to Almador before I spoke.
Mhm.
And I told Almador, I'm gonna frame it in a way because Almador he was expressing the same exact concern that you and Brian are talking about right now.
Mhm.
They're gonna cut the event. They're gonna have an interest in cutting the event if you talk about a negative light. I at no point, and you could pull it up. I at no point talked negatively about the event. I just said, same thing I said today. There were things that could have been done better by us that I had a right to talk about. I don't have to justify my actions in going before the council.
We're not asking you to justify.
But you are because you're saying that.
I didn't ask you to
Through the
justify,
chair.
I
Okay,
just
so when I
said
speak, you can
that we're
interrupt me,
we're
but when
not
you-
in a conflict.
I'm speaking, Brian, and when you speak, I respect your
You
time.
got 2 minutes,
I have the time that I want to talk.
because we have to get out of here, because there's another meeting.
Right, and you over talk too. So if there's a committee concern, I believe that you take stuff too personally sometimes when this is all professional, okay? If that's a committee concern is that you shouldn't be taking things personally. And if you feel so entitled that you need an invitation to everything, I ask you to please know your boundaries as well as a chair, because you're as equivalent to me as anybody else in this committee. And I feel that it's highly disrespectful for you to look down upon anybody in this committee, and that's completely incorrect. And you do look down upon every single member of this committee. You think you're above everybody, and I will not stand for that at no point, because that's not right. You did it to Moritz when he didn't give you the invite, and you did it to every single person in the committee, and I will not stand for it at no point. So I respect you, and I expect you to respect me the same way, because I do not expect you to treat me in that manner. And that's it. I don't have to talk about it any other way. I talked about it in front of the council. I had my justification for it. I said it at the council. Was it the best way of going about it? I don't think there was an issue with it. I really don't think there was a
So
problem.
you don't think speaking to your team first before going to council is not an issue?
But I don't think there was a problem with me expressing my problems to the council. Now, is that something that we're talking about now and maybe I'll reconsider in the future?
Agree to
Of
disagree.
course. No, there's no agreeing to disagree, Ernie. Can I have gone about it in a different light? Of course, I own up to it, 100%. But the fact that we have to play the blame game every time something goes wrong, I don't agree to that.
Wait, through here, Pop, let's take a breather. I just feel like when analyzing the situation, did you have a right to go before the council? Absolutely, as do all of we. The council's a public meeting, anybody has a right to express themselves. What I think some committee members may have taken issue with, or felt maybe offended by, is the fact that it's unprecedented for a committee member to go before the council and talk bad about or express concern to the council about one of their activities when they're in the committee. I've never seen any other committee member of any other committee go before the council and say, oh, let me tell you guys my concerns about an event that you help are part of the group that organizes it. To me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense, especially considering that we had another event going on that night. And instead of being there, you chose to go and talk about your concerns about an event to essentially our bosses, right? Our council, they each appoint all of us, and I would say that's equivalent to Ernie if something happened at a Parks and Rec, something happened at Parks and Recreation, instead of discussing that with his boss, with Manny and with the Parks and Rec director, Jeremy, then he goes to the town manager to talk to the concerns. I think that's an overstep. It's different because Ernie's employed and we're not. So, did you have a right to go? Yes, but I also think you need to understand that some people in our committee also have the right to feel a little bit offended by that and be like, man, we worked hard for this event. And why can't we just discuss that at a committee meeting? Why do you have to go to the people who appoint us and who decide our budget to talk about those concerns? Frankly, I don't think the council, if I have to go to council for every concern I've ever expressed with one of our events, like that's just highly illogical. I think council creates these committees so that we can flesh out the events together. And if there's any concerns they're addressing the committee, it just doesn't make a lot of sense for me to go to the mayor to talk about something that went wrong in Halloween when I should really go to our committee so we could fix that. That's just the way I do things.
Steps, that's what it is, it's steps.
Right, and again, I agree with everybody's concern in regards to reaching out to our elected officials who are there to represent the interests of the people. I have a right, again, and I will restate that, to bring up anything that I find to be of a problem to anybody. If you guys have a concern with wasting over $2,900 on an event, like I said, it was a waste based on the outcome, because our initiative to do the event, the idealism, the beauty, giving information to the town, that's all beautiful, but what counts is what happened. And what happened was not a successful event. 1 through 10, this event was not a 9, it was not a 10, it was definitely not an 8 or 7. So it wasn't the most successful event. Now, again, I definitely understand, and I can reconsider at other points to not go before the council. But when we go about in such a heated time where, there's a lot going on in the town, and we are effectively wasting $3,000 on an event, $3,000 that can be used for anything, $3,000 that can be used for candy.
Did you know that this was gonna be, the event was gonna be a waste? Cause we didn't.
But I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like I said, all the lead up to the event, what they're saying, no, it's a disrespect to everybody. It's a disrespect to say this, it's a disrespect to say that. It's a disrespect to say that now, after the event is done, but that doesn't matter. What led up to the event doesn't matter when the event itself wasn't what we expected it to be.
Okay, so through the chair, I wanna see what your solution to that waste of money is gonna be.
Next year, finding a better way of going
Exactly,
about
so
it.
next year is next year's problem. That's
I
gonna have to
agree with
be,
you.
that's gonna have to be a budget that's discussed when that line item is brought up.
And it should be brought
during-
up to the council.
Then what I take offense to is, you know what? Yes, every single time we have an event, the first thing we do at the next meeting is that's the first item, so everybody can give their opinion on it. What I take offense to is you going to the town council and to the officials who appointed me to this committee and telling them to go speak with me and to go speak with all of us to help change our mind and convince us to make drastic changes to the event. I take highly offense.
You're
Wait,
misquoting
pause,
me.
pause,
You're
pause, pause.
misquoting.
I heard you verbatim, and I can quote you verbatim.
Decorum, please, and your minutes, you have the floor.
What I take offense
You're
to,
misquoting me.
what I take offense to is by you telling other people to come talk to me about how I should think. why do you have to go ask them to go talk to me? Why can't you talk to me, committee member to committee member? Because I can
Because
agree, I can agree
I
with
can't.
that.
According to Sunshine, I cannot.
Yes, you can, at these meetings,
At the meeting,
at the meeting.
correct.
So what does it matter about
That's
you
what we're talking
bringing
about.
up this concern yesterday versus bringing it up today? What we're talking about is that I feel, you know, I don't want to speak for any other committee member, and I'd like to hear everybody else's thoughts too, is, you know, I'd like to discuss things within our group. There's no reason for us to, I guess, show our negatives to everybody else. You're part of this team. So if anything, if you think the event was unsuccessful, I know you've only been here 2 months, but you were here for those meetings right before where we were planning the event. If the event wasn't successful, it's your fault as much as it's ours, because we are the
And
youth
I
activity
take, and I
task
take
force.
fault for that. We planned an event that was not successful, and I own up to all the faults that we had as a committee. Me going to the council, I'll own up to it. It was a mistake.
Instead of coming to our,
Instead of coming to you guys first,
instead of coming to our event that we were having that day.
I was not aware of
But
it.
you said you got the email 2 hours before. So if you got it 2 hours before, there's no
But I
difference
didn't.
of
I'm not-
driving to town hall versus driving to the veterans.
At the end of the day, there's priorities, right? Ernie has.
But I
seen
had-
me do
I
it.
had-
Hold on,
if
I
I
got
don't-
the floor now.
but if I
You've
don't know-
spoken your piece, now
But
it's
if
my
I don't
turn.
know when the event
Before,
is,
it's my turn. Give me a second.
yeah, no, it's always your turn when you.
That's great for you. Ernie
Right.
has seen it and the
Supremacy.
rest of the committee has seen it. First of all, I'm gonna go off of this. I don't see over anyone in this committee. And everyone on this table could vouch for that. You know, I give everyone the opportunity here to speak, and I've said it. Is there anything anyone else wants to say? And they can all say it, right? I give everyone the opportunity to vote, give everyone the opportunity to speak. I don't look down on anyone on this committee. That's why I don't go for sponsorships anymore. I do not try to look over anyone, and Ernie has seen it in the past. I am not one of those chairs that goes above everyone. I wait until the meetings to vote on something unless it's urgent. Then I call an emergency meeting, because everyone on this committee has been to an emergency meeting if you've been here for a while, okay? I do not look over anyone. I work with everyone on this committee, and I try to do what's best on this committee. There's a reason I'm still here. I don't do this for power or popularity. I do this for the love of Miami Lakes and the love of my community that I grew up in, and to give back to people that don't have what I had when I was a kid, okay? I don't do this for popularity. I don't look down on anyone on this committee. And Manny that's here, Manny Martinez, that has been on our committee before and has been our liaison, could probably look at that too. I don't do this for popularity. I don't do this for money. I'm not probably never gonna run for council. I don't care for that stuff. I do this for the love of my community. Because a long time ago, if I really wanted to, I could have left this committee and go run for council and do other things, right? I'm still here after 13 years. And I know I throw that number around. And I know some people make fun of me throwing around that number, but I'm proud of that number. I'm proud that I have done everything I can on this committee and be a part of this committee. And I love this committee and I love this community. Look, I've applied for jobs in this town and I've been denied 6 times. And you would think, oh, I don't want to deal with this crap anymore. Excuse my language. I don't want to deal with this anymore. And you know what? I still come back because I love the people that I serve with on this committee and this board. Okay, so I don't look down on anyone. You disrespect the committee, that's a disrespect to me, and I'm gonna go after you. And everyone on this committee knows it because they've seen it at committee chair meetings. Where if they come after us, one person on this committee, I'm going after them. And I don't do it because I wanna do it. I do it on behalf of the committee, and I fight for every single kid in this town, and every youth in this town, and everyone on this committee, and sitting at this table.
Point of inquiry, when have I disrespected you?
From what I saw last night, and that was a big disrespect to me. It may not be to you, but to me, what I saw last night at that meeting was a disrespect straight to this committee, which was a disrespect to me directly. So that is my thought process, okay? I would, being honest with you, I have never seen anyone do that before, like Moritz was saying, go up and talk about our committee and talk about an event, and when they serve on the committee. We debrief every single time after a meeting, and if we have to, we give committee reports to the town, right? We plan together to make a committee report every 6 months to every year. Go to the town, go to the council meeting, and we tell them, hey, this is what we did wrong, this is what we're improving on, this is what we're doing, right? We do that already as a committee. And sometimes I'm not there. For example, I wasn't able to go to the budget hearing, and you guys did awesome, guys. I saw the recording. You guys did awesome. It's not just me. I'm not a one-man show in this committee. I give you guys, I'm just the chair, but I'm also a committee member, okay? And this goes for everyone. If you see me that I'm overstepping, I'm sorry, I'm not meaning to overstep. there has to be decorum in this committee, and there has to be some type of order in this committee, and someone has to be the bad guy at the end of the day, right? But there has to be a way that we work together. I'm gonna quote, I'm not gonna say who the person was, but I was told this committee is not about politics, Republican or Democrat. This committee is to decide whether we use chocolate ice cream or vanilla ice cream. This is about kids and in our community and doing stuff for the good of our community. This is not about politics. I don't care if we spend $1 million. I don't care if we spend $20. We work with what we have and what we're given. And yeah, we ask for more because prices go up. But if an event's not a success and it's happened in the past, we try again. And usually it kind of works out, right? Last year, our bike rodeo was great. This year, it may not have been the best because of weather and different circumstances. But we go on and we move to next year and we talk about it as a committee together. And then we go to council and talk about it if we have to. But me personally, that's why I brought it up. That's where I saw disrespect. You just, from what I saw, in my opinion, was disrespectful that you went yesterday and spoke on behalf of our event. When we were at our meeting working and doing all this stuff and doing walkthroughs with 90 volunteers that came out for their time to give time to the town.
Pilar wants to speak.
Pilar, go ahead.
You want?
No. Okay, so yeah, my point in being, did I make a mistake? I'll own up to it. But there's no justification for me not having a right to not
I
express.
never said you didn't have the right.
You are, because you're saying that I have to come through the committee and then go, and then, if I had a concern that I genuinely found as an issue, I have as much of a right as anyone, like I mentioned before, to go to the committee and talk about it. You guys can do whatever you want. Now, regarding the event, I was here. I had transportation. I could have gone to the event. If I would have known, I would have gone. I even left early. I left the chambers early. So again, that's my justification for not showing up to the event. I did it with the best intention, to be honest, because I think that taxpayer dollars should not be wasted. Because to a degree, I did believe that this event was not successful. I don't think that it was, I did not enjoy the event overall. I don't think that it was something that really was a good event at all. But that's not the point that you're making about committee concerns. Your point is that I disrespected the committee overall. I at no point think that I disrespected anyone. At no point. I don't think I disrespected anyone. I didn't go to speak on behalf of the committee. I went to speak on behalf of myself. And if I spoke about that event for a minute and a half, it was probably too long. Regardless, it's just something that I'm looking at as a committee member who has a better perspective of what's going on, that anybody in the town can see what's going on. It's just a way of putting that in the light, and I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't break sunshine because there was a public notice. And every time, you guys go around and you do break sunshine and talk behind each other's, back and stuff, I shy away from that because we can't, there are certain
What are you
rules.
referring to?
There are certain rules that we have to follow. And at times, I see that doesn't happen.
When you've been here for 2 months, I'm trying to figure out when you have seen us talk behind our back. about
I think you're
politics.
straight out disrespectful, and I honestly see this as a pattern with you, and honestly, your ignorance is gonna be the ruin of you, and I think you should really consider some things. And that's all I have to say. I will remove myself from this, because honestly, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, very
Pilar?
quickly through.
Pilar,
Yeah, sorry.
She's been meaning to speak.
Well,
Go ahead.
just something overall, definitely, we all have the right to speak and so forth. I just think this is it's kind of like an unwritten thing. And I think this is what our consensus is about, a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy and a chain of command for things like, I'll give an example in my school. If there's an issue with a teacher, they come straight to the principal. I'm always like, no, go back to the teacher, because then that poor teacher never got notice of that and would want to know directly. So I think it's a matter, and it's not somebody in particular, Diane, it's not you. I think it's for all of
But
us.
when I come into a committee meeting and I greet him and I extend my hand out and he says no, I take it personal.
Oh, well,
Okay?
but
I said no.
I'm just.
No,
referring-
but that's disrespectful because you are in a position of power regardless. And I find that to be wrong, okay? That's,
I just wanted to.
and I don't want to ramble, and I
No,
completely
just-
understand your point.
No, just. to
And I
finish
hope
off.
that, I wish that the tone that this conversation would have been started by the chair would have been in a more gorgeous tone, but I don't appreciate the way that you went about it. So,
Well, just to finish my thought, it's just, I think as overall, I think we all just need to have that hierarchy and it kind of starts here. It's kind of like what Ernie was saying, that we start here, we discuss it, because we had great conversations and we're all entitled to our conversations, whether, and it's successful, not successful for sure. So I think it's just a matter of kind of keeping that in the mind, in the back of our mind, that that's what we do as a committee first, and then we move.
so yeah, and then for the record, if I would have, I apologize if you felt disrespected, if that's what you guys see. And I genuinely mean it, because I at no point meant any sort of disrespect. On the contrary, I was doing it out of the best interest of the town, because I think that if funds can be put elsewhere, I think that that's within the best interest of the town overall. Especially due to the fact that, the town considered cutting the millage. The fact that there's a lot of other things going on outside of this committee that I think have to be taken into account. I'm not just covered by what's, I don't only look at what's happening here, I look at what's also going outside. So if you felt disrespected because I spoke up about something that I found wrong, I apologize, and the underlying effects of that, I know are not, in the best way, but I would not allow somebody to talk down to me because they feel in any sort of way entitled to their position. And I don't appreciate that, because that's not right. It's not right for you to disrespect me. If you feel that because I disrespected you, in your opinion, you have to disrespect me back, that's incorrect.
Okay.
That's not right, and I don't appreciate that.
If I may speak.
Gabby,
now.
go ahead.
So basically, to kind of put it in a cookie color picture, because maybe you might not understand by the way Brian's telling you, honestly speaking from a personal level, what he does to like give you a handshake outside of this committee isn't necessarily cultural rules. And as, say, for example, you don't feel you disrespected the committee with talking to the council, because it is within your personal right. It is as much as his personal right if he doesn't want to greet you. So, and at the same time, like, it's not a game of disrespect. It's just a game of like, it's not even a game period. You're here to serve the town and through this committee. So I want to point out something that you principally said while you were talking right here. You came as a person in the town. You came to complain about an event as a person in the town, not as a person in a committee. And as a person in the committee, what's the purpose of you being here if you're gonna show up for yourself? And you have the right to, but it's a team. You're in this committee to advance this committee and to serve the town. You are not, you're still Diane, you're still a citizen of the town of Miami Lakes. You still have the right to say whatever you want to say. You still have the right to make the concerns you want to make. But as a committee, you should be able to understand that you are working with somebody. It's essentially, it's a family, but it's also a group of people making decisions that you are a part of, and B, also representing why you are also making that comment to the town. So it's like, what's the necessity of you being a committee member to make change if you still find it within your means to go to a council meeting and speak as if you were only a citizen? Because if you notice, and if you listen to your own comment back, you speak in the third person. You speak of the committee's members in a third person. You're like, speak to the people you elected on your committee member. But who else is a committee member? Diane, you're a committee member as well. So it doesn't really make sense. That's where that line of disrespect is coming from in a cookie cutter picture for you to understand. And it's not saying that you don't have the right to, but you have the right to as a citizen of the town of Miami Lakes. But it is disrespectful as a committee member that you have a purpose to serve and have a job to serve the youth of Miami Lakes, but yet you want to complain about it as if you were a citizen. It just doesn't really make sense, and you need to understand that form of unity that a community, wait, I'm not done.
And
That a
I'm
committee-
giving you the floor.
that a committee needs to have in order to make decisions. So instead, what you need, like, oh, you could have contributed. What did you contribute in the process when we spoke to the bike road? You contributed, but it didn't come out unsuccessful, like you just said. If you consider it unsuccessful, it is just as much as a representation of yourself as a committee as a whole.
Okay,
And
I own up to that.
additionally, you need to understand, it's not saying yes for the purpose of saying yes, that you made a mistake, or if you feel or you're sorry if it seemed disrespectful, but you as a person, when you came in to making that comment, you did it for the best interest of the town. Were you thinking the best interest of the committee? Because you're a committee member.
Well,
So that's a responsibility that also falls
I
upon
put the
yourself.
interest of the town of Miami Lakes above the interest of the committee, if that's your question.
And then also, okay, so then what's the purpose of you being on the committee? Because there's also responsibility to serve.
I have a right
And
to
at the
serve.
end of the day,
I have a
the
right to
committee,
serve.
okay, but I'm talking
And I-
about your responsibility as a committee member.
Mhm.
Because when you went up to make that comment in the council, you thought, what was,
No, I didn't think, ask me the question, because you're assuming what I thought.
no, I'm not saying what your thought, I'm asking you.
Hold
If
on.
you let me finish, I could.
This
be
is,
able to
this is
ask.
not a debate, this is not a debate. Gabby, continue, and then,
If I was gonna make you, if I was gonna say what you were gonna think, I was gonna follow up with a question. When you came in there, what did you want to happen? You said what you wanted to happen. You wanted the council to come back to the committee members in third person as if you're not
Yeah,
one.
to reach out to their committee members, which is
To-
a
To
council member's
basically more
responsibility.
creatively create this event. You're speaking in the third person. You're trying to make it onto the committee that you're also a part of. That's also your responsibility.
Okay,
And you need to understand that it seemed disrespectful. But once you're in here, it didn't seem respectful to your role as a citizen of the town of Miami Lakes. But it's disrespectful to your responsibility of serving in this committee. Do you understand? Because you didn't wait for our opinions. And that's something that's essential
Okay.
when you're a
and
part of a
I,
group.
I'm gonna be really quick. I like what Gabby just said, and I'm being honest with you. We're not here to focus on what the town of Miami Lakes is doing. We're here to make sure that, yes, at the end of the day, we need to make the town look good, right? But we are here on this committee to serve as this committee and make sure we are doing what we need to do as a committee. I could care less what the millage rate is. I could care less about what taxes are. We get a budget, we work with that budget, we do what we have to do. At the end of the day, we are appointed by our elected officials. That's why you don't see me going to these meetings and fighting, because I can go fight all day for what I want and what I need. But I don't care about that. Right now, my focus is serving the community of Miami Lakes. If it's $1 million, like I said earlier, if it's $25, if it's $1 million, it doesn't matter to me. I'm given this budget, I'm gonna use this budget, right? We're gonna do everything we can to use the tax dollars for what they were giving to us for. At the end of the day, this event, it was a 10 out of 10 for me. Even if no one showed up, it's still a 10 out of 10. You know why? Because we put it together and we worked on it. And we did everything we
But the
can to make,
results
hold
were
on,
not a 10
hold
out
on.
of 10.
We made this event the greatest possible we can. It doesn't matter about the results. Because at the end of the day, we've had events, and Maritza's been to our events where they're not big and the town loved it anyway. Okay?
Through the chair, I just wanna make two final points and that'll be it for me, at least for now on this topic. The first is, I work hard, to. Let's see, how I word this. I work hard to put respect on my name. And I work hard to try to do the right thing. And I think I've worked hard to earn kind of, my image in the town of promoting civic engagement, being a volunteer in the community. And I don't appreciate now if someone from within our group goes to the council to talk about how something went wrong. Now you're making it look, now the council members are gonna question what's going on in that committee. That someone from inside has to come out and talk bad about all these things. So now it makes me look bad and it makes us look bad collectively. And I think I've been here almost 4 years since I was in 8th grade and I've worked hard and so have others to create a name for this committee as one of the best committees in the town that puts on some of the top events. And I just don't like the fact of even putting an image in the mayor or the council member's minds that something's going wrong here. And
Right.
that's just the main issue I have, Diane, to be straight up. It's just that, it's.
And I respect.
And
I
I work hard to create an image that the YTF is one of the top committees in the town, and I work hard to create an image that I'm, a dedicated community volunteer, and that I'm a person who cares about this community. And I just don't like the fact that now, an image is being put into the council members' minds, people who appointed me of, oh, if someone's coming out saying all these things are going wrong, what's Maritz doing in that committee? What's YTF doing? Is something going wrong there? Now they want to investigate and come in here and see, are they doing the right thing? are they even planning things properly? I just don't like the fact that that's being questioned, made question. And the second point is you mentioned cordiality. And I think we're cordial and, I think everyone here has their histories, but we remain cordial. But, I've never called this out, but, I think it's also offensive to Brian and I when discussions are had in here and then you go out to, back to the Christmas thing, you go out and complain and call Brian and out by name, saying the chair and vice chair, disregarded your thoughts that, we're trying to, that if we don't want to name it Christmas, what's next? We're gonna have, I did a public records request and I've seen the things that have gone out. So now, if Brian, the vice chair and the chair disregarded me and, they don't want to name it Christmas, what's next? Is it gonna be, LGBTQ people, queer people reading books to Miami Lakes? Because I've seen that comment from a public records request that I did. So I just, don't like that representation of myself because that's not something I would support, right? So, by connecting my name and Brian's name to these, radical images that you're portraying, I take I do take a little bit of offense to it and I still remain very cordial to you and you know that. But I just want you to know that this is, it's become a little bit, I wouldn't say toxic, but I feel like these meetings have become a lot more confrontational because of these types of actions you're taking. And it is your right, but I just want you to know that I think it's making everything a little bit more, defensive or offensive at our meetings when before it hasn't been like that. Because we've never had a committee member go out and say that I am doing something wrong or that I'm offending someone or that something's going wrong here. So, those are just my final thoughts. And with that, I said what I'm talking about.
I'll give my final thoughts because I think everybody has a clear idea of what occurred. I've made my point clear. I do apologize, I own up to it, not only as a committee member, but as a citizen of the town. I'm not a citizen, I'm a student, but as a member of the town, right? I do apologize for going before the council. I think that wasn't correct of me. That obviously can change. That's something we can change. I can change. Apologies. But if there are things in the committee that have not been going in a way where I agree, and I'm not doing anything out of my right to go about it in a different way, I don't see that there's anything wrong with that. Now, can I maybe not go before the council and not talk in front of every single town resident and have, make, I guess, Moritz and every other council member look bad? Yeah, I can change that. But I definitely do think that there are things we can change, and I don't think that that's a problem, and that's pretty much what I want to say. I joined the committee because I think that I love what the committee does, and I think that's something that I don't even have to state because you guys have made a name for yourselves in the town that there's no point in even discussing that. But I do think that there are things we could do better, and when I see that. If we can make an event a bigger thing, I at no point said, let's get rid of the bike rodeo. On the contrary, I said that we have to preserve town tradition, that we have to make the event better, and when I misquoted and talked about it in another light and looked at as the enemy in the committee, I sometimes feel that I'm not being looked by in a way where I do want positive change. And that's not what's being portrayed right now, based again on my mistake, I admit it. But I do believe that there's much more that I have to give to this committee. That's not necessarily, again, my mistake that I committed, that I've owned up to. Now, moving forward, my goal is to do what's best in the interest of this committee and what's best in the interest of the town. If I believe that there's something that's incorrect, I will bring it up because I have a right. That's just my point.
Diane, can I? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead.
2 seconds, and I don't want to be a dead horse here. We're all very tired. Diane, I want to thank you for apologizing and admitting that there could have been a different way to have gone about it. If you want to be a part of this group, I think, or any group from now on, Diane, you need to work within the group for change. That's how you get things done. But if you go outside of an organization or outside of a group to try to get change, then the people within it are gonna feel disrespected. That's just part of life. So this is hopefully a lesson for you to learn moving forward. If it's in this committee or in somewhere else, always try to work with the team that you're in and say, hey, guys, and there's nothing wrong with pointing out problems. All of us have pointed out problems with events before. And that's what we do. We troubleshoot and we try to make it better. But by going outside of it, that's what everybody found disrespectful. Do you understand that? And again, everybody worked very hard for it, and then it's just kind of like a slap in the face. But as long as you can understand where we're coming from, that's the whole point of this, is a learning thing, okay? And let's,
I hope, no, I hope you know.
And I wanna apologize for the way I spoke to you. I'm just upset. Everyone has the right to be upset. Hold on. And I wanna thank you for apologizing, but at the end of the day, like I said earlier, and I would call out anyone if they did this. It's not just you. It's not just you, trust me, because I've done it in the past if Ariana's seen it, where I've called other people out in the past for doing stuff like this. Okay, it's not just you. And I know I feel like you're here for good intentions, right? I believe in everyone on this committee to do something good, and they have good intentions, but please, and I ask everyone, and I know I'm using you as an example, and I apologize because it happened in the moment. Please, we are a team. And I'm sorry if I overstep my boundaries and I look upon you guys. I don't look upon anyone, and everyone knows that I don't make it. And you can ask Ernie. Ernie will ask me, hey, what do you think we should do? I literally, and Ernie could vouch for this. I tell him, I think we need to wait for the committee meeting and talk to the committee about it. Do I not do that, Ernie?
A lot.
All the time. All the time. Ernie calls me, hey, what do you think? What do you think about this? I think we need to talk about this in the committee meeting. I've never made decisions without this committee. Okay? And if we have to, it's because it's ASAP, and I let the committee know as soon as possible when that decision's made. Because as a chair, I do have the power to do that, to make a emergency decision if needed. Okay? But I always come back to the committee and tell them, and that's very rare that I make those decisions. Right? That's like a last minute, it has to do it right now, it has to be this, right? And it's never something monetary either. I think it's important that we spend taxpayer money properly, but at the same time, we plan this out with ourselves. We work together as a team, right? You think I ever wanted to become chair for this committee? Just so you are aware, the amount of times I could have become chair before I became chair, I was vice chair, and I always turned down being chair in this committee. It was to the point where no one else wanted to be chair, and I was the only one left. And I decided, okay, I will accept the nomination for chair. I never wanted to be chair, and you can ask Moritz that, because Moritz was here when I was voted into the chair position. And I did not want to be in this chair position. Okay? I'm here to do good for this town. And I believe you are here to do good in this town too. But please remember, we are a team and we are here to work together. Okay? I will always fight for every one of these people on this table. Even you. You're part of our committee. I will fight for you if something was going against you in this committee from the outside, right? So just think about that. I will fight for you too. Right now we got beef, but I'm sure we'll be fine soon, okay? I'm sorry for that.
You have beef. I have no,
I got you.
I'll treat you with the same respect.
I got
and
you.
cordiality.
I apologize for not shaking your hand earlier. It was in the moment I was upset. Okay? And that's on me, and I will apologize for that. And that's on me. I'm usually not like that, but I did take it a little, and I do take things personal in this committee. This committee is part of my life. 9 out of 13 years on this committee, I have not received anything back. I got community service hours when I started this in freshman year of high school. For 9 years now, I haven't gotten anything from this committee. I don't get paid. I don't get awards. I don't get volunteer of the year. I don't get anything. You know what? I don't care about that. I don't do it for that. I don't do it for awards. I don't do it for recognition. I don't give a crap. I do it because I care for this community and I care for everyone on this table. And I care for the kids in this city of Miami Lakes that we live in and that I call home and that I've been here my whole life. So I just want to put that out there. It doesn't matter to me. I could care less about the millage. I could care less about the taxes. That's all politics. This is not a political forum. This is not a political meeting. This is a meeting where we're deciding on things for kids events. Doesn't matter what money is being spent or not. They give us money, we use it as needed, but we make that decision at the end of the day what we want to request. Yeah, we always request more. You know why? Because we want to make our events bigger and better. But without that money, we can't do that. Okay? Yeah, and saying, oh, talk to your committee members, I took that to heart. I don't like that. I don't like when someone goes over us. And I'm not saying going over me. It's going over the whole committee as a whole. And I just, my advice to you is think about it before you do something like that, because it affects all of us. You will never see me, unless I wasn't on the committee anymore, because that's different. But you wouldn't, and probably wouldn't either, because I have respect for everyone on this committee after working on this committee for 13 years. And Ariana's been here for how many years now? Almost 10.
8.
8. And Amador puts in all these hours on all these other committees. Manny was our liaison forever too. And now Ernie, they put in so much work in this committee and it hurts us when something like that happens, right? So think about it like that. Think about how you would feel if we went behind your back and spoke about you. You know what I mean? You wouldn't like it, right? Without talking to you first. Does that make sense? I'd rather you talk to us about it, then we can figure something out, than going with us not knowing and talking about our event, saying this and that, whatever it was. We watched it. I watched it live and I watched it happen and it didn't make me happy. Right? I got phone calls and people telling me this and that. And you know what? I wanted to talk about it in this meeting. I didn't go crazy all day. I told them I will talk about it in the meeting. I'll bring it up and we'll talk to Diana in the meeting as a group. Because it incorporates everyone in this committee. So thank you for apologizing, but at the end of the day, this is the second time you apologized to me about this. Because you did it at the last meeting too. So
Why
that,
did I apologize?
you apologize for me how you acted about the Christmas thing. So it kind of like.
No, I apologize because
No,
I didn't want there to be like a false perception based on, tones get heated and
I
one
understand,
thing
and
leads
that's
to
why I
another,
kind of
and
calmed down because you apologize and I appreciate it. I'm kind of thinking about it more. But at the end of the day, I
We
want,
also can't have this at every meeting.
no, we can't.
And I don't want that. I
And
want
once,
to leave
and
my.
please understand, once the committee votes on something, that is the vote. You could try again next year, because I was talking to Amador about this earlier. I try every year to get a helicopter for the spring fling event. Once it's turned down, I'm done until next year. Right? I try every year. You'll see me try again this year for spring fling to get a helicopter at that event. Once it's turned down, right? It is what it is, but you try. If you want to try again next year for something else, you try again. If the committee denies it, they deny it. Right? There's always gonna be that one person that votes no, votes yes. You saw me earlier vote on no for something. That's normal. It's fine to vote on no for something. I'm one of those people, Maritza's been here for a long time, where at one point I was voting no on every single item that was going down. But you know what? I accepted it and I let it happen, right? You just gotta accept it and let it happen. If we vote on something, it's a group collective. The town council appoints us and they hold us responsible and give us the responsibility to run these events. If not, we wouldn't be here. Right, I know right now they're trying to get rid of committees, and I don't want to see this committee go anywhere. We worked too hard for what happens in this committee. And these kids, you're one of them too. All these students on this committee, I was a student here too, okay? It created what we are today. And it builds careers. You should see some of the people that are on this committee. One of them is the vice mayor right now, and one of them is actually the mayor right now. Because he served on this committee.
Through the chair, just to close up the discussion, I want to personally, Maritz, thank you, for apologizing, because I was offended by, you mentioning my name in some of these earlier discussions. And I want you to know that this is a committee where we respect the right of the majority to make decisions, and we respect the right of the minorities to be heard. And you have the right to be heard whenever you would like, but then, as Ms. Soldo mentioned, and this is just life, no one's saying you didn't have the right to go speak, but don't be surprised that people within the group either, they alienate you or they feel kind of hurt by that because of those actions. And with that,
Through the chair, I continue to hear a lot of discussion going on about the same subject, and it kind of feels like we're beating a dead horse. And I want to go back to what Malik said a few moments ago. I feel like every committee meeting we've had in the past 2 months continues to be the same thing, and we're not getting anything done. Halloween has been kind of set up. We're almost there. It's 2 weeks from now, and some things are still in the works. So I'd like to propose a motion for Brian Rodriguez and Maritza Costa as chair and vice chair to remove a committee member, Diane Jimenez, from the Youth Activities Task Force, if that is possible.
Point of order.
So that's my motion.
Second.
One motion, a second.
Point of order. Based on committee rules, I don't think that's allowed.
If I may, it's not allowed, but look, you can. I'm gonna give you my recommendation of what has to be done in the time where you want to remove someone. You have to recommend or ask or make a motion to ask the chair to go, the chair or vice chair to, or anyone on the committee to go before council and request the removal.
Okay,
That's the only way we can do it, and they have to approve it or not.
so can I amend my motion?
Point of personal privilege.
There's a motion open. Give me one moment, please, and then you can have privilege.
So I will motion for Brian Rodriguez, Chair of the Youth Activities Task Force, to go in front of council to remove Diane Jimenez from the. Motion.
Second, any discussion?
Yeah. So before the vote happens, again, we respect the majority and gonna possibly be in the minority in this case. But, you know, all I ask for is an opportunity to be heard. If you believe that I don't, I don't have a fitting role in the committee, I'm more than fine with facing the repercussions of my actions because I apologize for something that was not correct. But all I'm asking for is an opportunity to, be part of this, because I do believe in it. I genuinely do. I wouldn't have joined if I didn't. If removing me is because I went before the council or because there's been some, I guess, stagnation what we've done, I would understand, but I think we've had pretty intriguing discussions and we've moved a lot of things and a lot of ideas have been spread and a lot of things have been put out there. If, again, it's your personal opinion, and yours for seconding it.
That's correct.
Right, yeah, but all I ask for is an opportunity to be heard and like every other person on the committee and, possibly be given the opportunity to continue to serve. If you think that that's not, within your, if you think that that's, you can't give me a second chance, go ahead.
This was your second chance in my eyes.
I don't agree.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, with that,
Anyone else have any discussions regarding this item?
I think the discussion's been made.
Discussions are closed. I don't know, I don't think we're gonna do a roll call for this. We're just gonna. Yeah. Yeah, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. All right,
a point of order, sir,
go ahead.
can we do a roll call because certain committee members didn't know.
Sure. A motion to open up that motion, there we go.
I'll second.
All those, please. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
They can't vote.
David Vega,
Yes.
Jenny Prieto,
Yes.
Ana Soto,
Yes, for the committee seconds.
Black Hernandez,
No.
Melanie,
Did you call Diane's name? Yeah, you called her.
Diane Martin.
No. What's the tally?
Point of order, did you vote? Did you abstain?
You can abstain from the vote.
Um,
I'm looking at it. Wait, there's no abstaining.
Three noes.
I believe that's part of the committee rules.
okay. How much is it for it to pass? Like how many votes?
Right now it passes on.
Even if I say,
If you voted no,
The
it's 6
council
to
is the
4,
one
if not,
that-
it's 7 to 4.
okay, I vote no.
And it's 6 to 4, motion passes. Like I said, if we go to council, it's up to them, it's up to you. It is what it is at this point, the company has voted.
Point of personal privilege, I just would like to make clear, put on the record, I'm still a member of the committee.
Correct.
If the idea was to make the committee look good in the eyes of the council, I don't think this is the best action taken. To make the committee look good, again, but it's within your right, and I respect your right as a committee member, same thing was within my right to go and speak. If they want to see this organization be in a committee, I think that this is not the best look on the YMCA, because I am a member just like anyone else. But again, the majority rules, that's it.
If I'm being completely honest, I don't think it's gonna make us look disorganized. We are, at the end of the day, I'm not speaking to you, I'm speaking to the rest of the committee. It's to help the committee proceed and grow without this fighting at every meeting. It's been this is the third meeting now that we're fighting.
That's the only reason why I voted yes.
This
For
is-
the record,
this is-
Diana, it wasn't through-
This is the
because
third
this
meeting
is
with fighting.
Not productive. We can't keep having these.
And it's, no offense, Diane, it's been since you joined, right?
It's
But
not
we
really
never
personal
had-
character
since
that
your
you-
first meeting, I have the floor right now, please. Since the first meeting, it's been like this. 3 meetings ago, it's been like this. So we need to work together as a team. I don't, if they don't want to remove you, you are more than welcome. You are still a committee member,
Mhm.
right? Either way, you're still a committee member. I'm gonna treat you like a committee member. I'm gonna treat you like anyone else in this room. It is what it is. Like I said earlier, it's a vote, right? There's, the vote's already been made. There's no fighting of
No,
those.
there's no, I'm not fighting the vote. I'm just saying that as a committee member, I don't feel like the interest, that were expressed are being met up to now. Regardless, the only point that today, I guess, we had some heated discussion was when it was directed in my way. I do recognize my heated points before, and I don't know, I own up to my actions, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, I hold nothing against anybody in this committee, but, majority rules, and I respect everybody and their right to.
Any other committee concerns?
I just say one thing, because everything else already was beat up. But I guess in the heat of the moment, you were saying some things that are actually not correct. I think that you use the funds that you're given very correctly. I haven't seen, and I've been going to the meetings for a long time now, and every time you use the funds, I think they are for something for the town, for the event. And it's very responsible, including everybody here. You guys are very responsible with the funds, and even though you're not saying it, you are actually looking out for the best interest of the town when
I
you're
didn't
doing
say
it.
that earlier.
You are looking for it, the best interest, because you're not. I have not seen one penny go to something personal, which is where I kind of
I didn't
would
put my
draw the
own money
line.
into it. I put
Right.
$500
And you
into
put
it.
your own money to it. So that's all I want to say, because I think that when they hear the moment, maybe some things were said, and then they're gonna be heard up there and, oh, this guy doesn't care. No, you actually do care about the town. You do. And everybody here is on the same page. That's all I want to say.
All right, I think we're good on committee concerns. Any announcements?
No, no, I'm sleepy.
No,
I'm
go
tired.
back. Thank you.
A motion to adjourn this meeting. All right.
No, come back.
I got it.
I